One day at the park, I saw a kid named Timmy launch himself off the swing at what seemed like the speed of light. As he soared through the air, his hat flew off and landed perfectly on a passing pigeon's head. Timmy landed in a bush and without missing a beat yelled, "Nailed it!" He didn't even notice the crowd of bewildered parents watching, and the pigeon, now perched on the jungle gym, was still wearing his hat. It's only able to happen in a playground. I'm an uncle to 3 kids in my family now, so I have to up my game a bit when it comes to playing. Now, I need to play with my nieces and nephews, so that's why I make a video about playgrounds. Hey kids, you wanna play? I'm just a fun uncle trying to learn how to play with my kids. No, don't do it. Don't call the police. Oh, I just wanna be the fun uncle. Just don't do it. Well, hello there kids. Are there any space for me on that swing? Hey kids, don't you wanna play with me? No, don't run away from me, come on. Usually when you think of playgrounds, I like to think of swings. So I went to a playground. As you can see here, I'm trying to climb. And I know, if I were to fall, I would probably have broken both my legs and hurt my brain a bit. It was also wet as well, so I might actually have a big chance of actually dying on this thing. I'd also like to point out the absolute absurdity that a 25-year-old is out in a playground during the middle of the night. I don't need to add words to that. I would be able to understand if parents would be like, "Don't go near that guy." Just said hi, that's all, I swear. I'm not a pedophile, leave me alone. Now the next part was the roller coaster. And it was really wet. I mean, my ass was so wet afterwards. It was not nice. But Jesus Christ, did it make me fast. And also the funny thing about these roller coasters is that at summer, they get really hot. Like super duper hot. You can make an omelette off of it if you want to. But don't be expecting me to make an episode of me cooking in a roller coaster. Now, you can also play pretend. There's a lot of ways to play. Now, play pretend is one of them. This small place is made for children, but I'm fairly certain I could fit in it. I told you, there was plenty of space. I'm pretty sure you get the gist of it now. There's a lot of different things you can be there, so there's space for creativity, really. I wanted to show this last one off because, well, it's basically just a spinning tool, and I spun really fast here, and I got really dizzy off of it. In the summer, I was also in Greece with my family, and my niece was there, and we played pretend. So the way what we played was she had to buy the playground that was there at the hotel we stayed at, and in order to buy it, she had to pay me some amount of money. So she came with a bunch of grass, and she paid with grass straws to me. Well, I took it, but I was like, "How much does playthings cost?" And then she was like, 23. So she kept on giving me grass. Basically, I actually taught my niece something there, that everything has a price and you have to kind of work for it. So she kept on picking that grass, and I promise it's not slavery. At the start of the video, I wanted to research what playgrounds were good for. But I slowly started to realize something, that it's much more complex than that. I mean, we as adults do different stuff that isn't defined as playing. And that's where I stumbled on Vsauce. Is a game, is what he defines in the video. Actually, it's Chris Crawford's definition, but I found that Vsauce explained it very much well, so I used that.
Let's begin with a book. This is a great book. It's really fun, it's entertaining, but it's not a game. TV shows and movies are also not games because fundamentally they aren't interactive. But as soon as something is both fun and interactive, well, now we've got ourselves a plaything. There are 2 types of playthings, according to Crawford. If you can play with the object and it's fun, but there's no goal or objective associated with it, it's a toy. If, however, there is an objective, something you're supposed to accomplish, well, now you're talking about a challenge. But there are 2 different types of challenges. If the challenge involves no other people or other agents, it's just you, for instance, playing alone with a Rubik's Cube, you've got yourself a puzzle. If, however, there are other people involved, well, now we've got ourselves a conflict. In a conflict like a foot race, you aren't allowed to interfere with the other participants. This is what Crawford calls a competition. If, however, you are allowed to interact with and interfere with the other players and they can do the same to you, Well, in that case, we are talking about a full-fledged game.
It's a lot more complex. The funny thing is, paddle is also a game, but also playing with my niece, playing pretend is also a game where she has to buy the whole play field. So, I decided to go straight to the source, which means I asked the buyers why he plays paddle. To which he replied, it is like, fun? What the fuck are you asking? Don't record this. Please don't fucking record this. After watching the Vsauce video, I became increasingly aware of how much choice I actually had. Yes. Even the computer I'm using. Per definition, it is defined as something fun that you can interact with. So it became very meta for me, because I realized, holy shit, there's a lot of things that I interact with that I have fun with. So I made a list. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have used Paint to write things down, so here it is in Word. Wow, it really is long, isn't it? I started wondering, what is fun? So I decided to ask my parents about that. Getting data from your parents is one thing, but they definitely don't represent the rest of the general population, so I actually decided to put it on my Facebook wall. I also implemented it on the Google Workspace, so I'll be tracking it a lot easier. So the survey is basically, what do you define as fun? First of all, so I made my list of what I found fun. And then my parents wrote down their answers to what they would find fun. And then they were like, okay, so we rate it from 0 to 10. Where 0 is just like, you've never tried it before, but 10 is like, alright, I get an orgasm from doing it. So you'll find some pretty weird stuff on this, where you would be like, well, that ain't fucking fun. But maybe it is. It's up to the individual really to answer it. For example, don't expect a lot of parents to be playing video games either. I expect to see a lot of different answers. 80th birthday, drinking alcohol, being at a concert, stuff like that. I tend to see a lot of different answers. But we'll see what it says. We don't know. Sleeping, my mom thought it was fun to sleep. What a weirdo. And then I'll also look at like the individual answers, like if are there any like gender or age specific fun activities that are like, yeah, if you are Optimus Prime, I expect you to fill out that. Yeah. See. So it's day 1 of the survey being out. So it looks like we have 6 answers. Pretty interesting. So I looked at them beforehand. 6 answers is pretty great. So if you scroll down, there's a tendency. A lot of my friends are gamers. And when we look at tendencies, we often look at like what my friend group is actually like. Somebody is getting euphoria out of dancing and singing. That's also like, oh wow. What else is there? There is note. There are alcoholics. That's major. They would definitely like to party. What else? They have not entered this test. That's why they gave it 0. This is a paradox we have to work with. Also, I should probably do an IQ test of whoever answered it. I sound mad, but I'm just like, why is it at 0? You haven't read the top. The top specifically said type a number from 1 to 10, depending on how fun you find the activity. Type 0 if you never tried the activity. But they haven't tried entering this test like an idiot. Oh yeah, and also Optimus Prime, he answered the test. Alright, so now it's day, I don't actually know which day it is, but the survey's been up for quite a while, and I tried to make a push on the Facebook wall. So here are 13 answers. I mean, it's better than 5, so we get to see what the general population of my friend base is actually like. Nothing mediocre. It seems like a lot of them have tried Overwatch for some reason. Someone gets euphoria out of it. Nice. Someone gets euphoria out of walking. This makes sense. What else? Working. Someone gets euphoria just from scrolling down your phone. Find that really weird. Alright. Euphoria out of Game of Thrones. That's probably my mom. Yeah. Playing video games, euphoria. I'm really euphoric, my dudes here. It tells a lot about, well, how you actually manage your feelings. Pretty weird that you get that happy of something. I mean, it's pretty rare you get super happy. Yeah. Someone had extremely euphoric tries to work. That doesn't make sense. Whatever. Have inconsistencies here. Alright. A lot of them. Waiting for doctor's appointment. That's fun for you.
Someone has to be trolling. Calling a doctor. 10 out of 10. What? Okay, so 4 people hasn't been sick in the bed. That's just a fucking lie. Holy shit. People have not read the fucking com. Being at a funeral, the funniest thing ever. Someone has clearly been bored while doing this test. Yeah. Those that doesn't know. Cat shits on the floor. 8. Someone is fucking troll. Fuck that person. Playing Yahtzee. I mean, this is almost 100% random. Also, only 11 people answered. And you also notice this. Like, most of the questions are only like 12 answers. Some fucking reason. Eating vegetables, 9. Don't get that either. Euphoria out of eating lasagna. 40 out of watching Forrest Gump. Alright. Watching gymnastics. Euphoric. Someone is trolling. Tidying up the apartment. Cleaning the apartment. Alright. At least it's not more than 3 who didn't read the top. 4 people haven't ever played poker. Wow. Everybody could agree that sleeping has some degree of fun in it. 2 people find it extremely fun. The activity has nothing. It's weird to see that people have fun. Mostly you'll see that people who answered are actually in my age group. But we have just one measly comparable thing here. Went pretty 50-50 on the male versus female. We have an imposter, Optimus Prime, in the mix. So also I'm dyslexic somewhat, so Optimus Prime that's pretty funny. What is there else to notice? Well, I'll also look across the individual. So we go here, and I, for example, go to 13 maybe. I will see age, female, pretty young female, that is in the 16 to 22 category. Found it mediocre this test, fair enough. Watching gymnastics. I mean, these answers seem like pretty legit, honestly. Cat shits on the floor. This person is honest, that's all I can say really. I get the feeling of honesty here. It's weird. Let's be honest. Oh yeah. I know who this is. Wait, is she that young? Is she 22? Am I that old? Holy fuck, I'm that old. 25 is apparently pretty old now. Alright, I'll see whoever trolled in a minute. Female for 41 to 50. Doing work stories 10. Sleeping 10. Fucking liar. Entering this test. Really fun. That makes me happy. Only enthusiastic person I would probably suggest has a lot of opinions about what really fun. That is a lot of things. Not fun calling. I never called the doctor. Never waited at the doctor's appointment. This seems like a pretty black and white person, honestly. Oh, whatever. Let's just see if who the f*** not a single answer. And then alright. So this person clearly trolled. Just put in that there's 70 plus and just said they were Optimus Prime. We found the fucking imposter. Alright. I just want to see like. Alright, so we have the 51 to 60 here. Is it black and white? Not really. There's a note. Have fun entering this test. Yeah, they were enthusiastic enough. But it's never like 10. So, I like it's a pretty awesome person. Driving to work, there must be something there. It's an honest person, really. I can use that. Playing over. It's again a person that plays Overwatch. I feel like something's wrong here. I don't think people know what Overwatch is. Whatever. Okay, surely there's another imposter somewhere. That's pretty reasonable. Alright, let's go down to 8. Whoever said it was fun picking up shit, that's the guy I'm looking for. That shit's on the floor 8. Yeah, what the f. It's a female. I did not expect that. Carrying work stories. Fun. Sleeping. Fun. Only enthusiastic person finds a lot of things fun, except for the activities that might actually be just sitting down. That's what I'm gathering here. Even cat shits on the floor. But Roscoe, that makes sense. Who is this? Ooh! No! Why? Are you dumb? Why the shit? Okay, this next part is just a female, my age, who had super much fun in this test for some fucking reason, and is super enthusiastic about almost everything, including like you'll see when a cat shits on the floor. That's apparently fun. Fucking weirdo. And being at a funeral is it's a 10. You are delusional. You need help. Sorry to say.
Fidget spinner on this tunnel swing for 5 seconds. You guys have to smash the like button. Dear guys, let's do this.
Right, but I pretty much think that covers it. It's like, well, now I have a baseline to work off of, but I don't know what it tells me yet. I'll find a conclusion somewhere.
But the true test of this project really began in Christmas. I mean, that's where the children are happy and they get all their presents. And I particularly wanted to make a theme out of it, so it had to be things that they could play with. Most certainly this helped. I gave them toys that were pretty much, I mean, some would certify as dangerous, but I gave them a basic Nerf gun, and I gave them kind of a bow and arrow. But it's not like a real bow and arrow, it's like it's a suction cup bow and arrow. So yeah, it asserts some danger, clearly. And I didn't really know it would be a great present, but they seem to enjoy it. God, what a great uncle I am. I'm just causing terror in the family like no other. A lot of time when you're playing, you have an objective you follow, and by completing an objective, you get something called a dopamine rush. That means you actually are happy in a sort of sense. It also is a way of teaching the body that it's a good thing you did, you know. And the more you feel that, well, the more you win, and the more you learn from it. It's the only positive response we really have. Normally when we talk about feelings, we have like happiness, anger, anxiety. I can't remember the last two, but it's like the only happy feeling, the only rewarding feeling is just happiness. And you get that from, well, playing. And that's because we want the positive response from it. Now, if you lose, or don't hit the goal like I just did, well, then I don't get the happiness feeling, which means I didn't really, well, possibly I did learn from it, but it was not a positive response. I wasn't winning, in other words. That's also why when we lose, we get so frustrated. We are not getting the happiness that we so desperately want. We want to do good. And I'm most certainly under the impression that you can find anything interesting, really, if you just find a way to make it interesting. I most certainly have a lot of hobbies, and I am very much an all-around person. I like a lot of stuff. I like music, I like playing football, I like sports, I like having a good talk with people, and I like running, I like cleaning sometimes. I even like watching TV, and there's a lot of things that I like. It's just how you actually interact with it that makes it fun for you. I like painting, I even like sitting down and just drinking a cup of coffee. It's all around different, but yeah, really depends on the rule set you actually bring to the table when doing these activities. So sort of conclude that people who actually score high on the survey that I did are usually the people that are at ease with themselves. That's my theory. So in conclusion of this video, why do we play games? And why is it that we play? Well, it is to learn, really. That's the essential thing. We are here to learn as humans, develop as persons, and become better. And that's why we play. And that's why kids play. That's why kids are so fucking dangerous at times. And yet, we should never, ever stop them from playing. And we should never ourselves stop playing. Because it's really the best tool we have in developing our own selves.